Hello everyone. Today we are just going to be looking at like my plan really for what I want to go for in that lot in Warpath. Um, because last video I had a couple people ask me, why aren't you buying the refined components and that lot? Oh, you need them and all this stuff. So I just thought making a video explaining everything would be a good idea. So straight off the bat, we're just going to look at the units pretty quickly. So immediately I've gone full into the helicopter, and secondary I've got my main battle tank. Reason helicopter, you can run around with it, pick up so many kills. That's just like the main way of getting kills, right? My base defense is pretty crap, so I don't have to worry about base HP. I can just send my unit out and it will collect me kills. Secondly, main battle tank. I want to be focusing on tanks. Why? Because I can't click on it right now, but I am going to fully complete the modern tank tree. Reasoning: one, because I've got a helicopter, obviously that would be great for that. Second, obviously I've got main battle tank. However, if you look at the stats, you get base damage reduction, whatever, but then you also get base damage reduction versus tanks. And I feel like you're going to be swarmed with tanks the most. Yes, you might have the odd 9.2 artillery just like one-shotting your base, but at least in my level, because I'm in gold battlefield, I'm more likely going to be swarmed by tanks rather than, say, what server is it? 28, 27, something like that. Yeah, they'll just melt any base really with artillery and tanks and everything, so like there's no point there. But however, in this battlefield, for example, like the tank tech is so valuable for my units and actually base defense, so going tanks to get these bonuses is like a no-brainer, right? Thirdly, you see this artillery that I've just made it 7.2, because if you only go tanks, then you're basically prone to infantry, right? This is my counter to infantry. So if infantry attack my base, at least I can kill it rather than just dying for free. So it's very important to have at least one artillery. But at the same time, one artillery allows me to attack bases. So if there's a base offline, I can just stroll up next to it and kill it for free. And it's you can't kill bases for free. That's not on. However, I recently just got Saber of the Nation awoken, so I'm going to be testing that because the skill. It doesn't say it on there. Where are you? Or does it have to be leader? I don't think so. Chance to instantly activate his skill, right? So each attack can activate his skill. So what I'm thinking is you can obviously do the officer charging trick, however, just with the attacks instead. So obviously I need to work on more artillery officers, because at the moment I only have Antonina. So the plan is to max out this firepower buff. And where's the other one? Who am I looking for? I'm looking for I want his skill, this prep time reduction, because the officer damage obviously does a lot more than the unit, at least in a single shot. So I want to be getting off more and more officer skills, especially with Antonina's high damage and Saber that's going to keep going off 24/7. So that is the plan there. Lots of firepower and just my counter to infantry. The following units, I'm debating either going a super heavy or an anti-tank gun. That's because the super heavy I can swap my leopard because I've got parts here. They're all gold plus plus, right? So it's going to have a lot. It's going to probably be about 14 million firepower or something like that. So actually having officers that can do damage with this high amount of firepower is insane. So I'll be probably looking at Lady Justice and who else does damage? I mean, that's pretty good. I don't know. I'll have to look at officers for the main battle tank anyway, because high firepower means high officer damage. So you really want to pair that up. Or I could put that on the super heavy, because obviously super heavy is going to have high firepower, right? So I mean that also works. Just what other way around. The other one will have the base shield, because I think I worked out about having I think a 9.2 super heavy gets maybe, I think it's 8 million HP, I would like to believe. So if you do the maths with Steel Fighter and Thorn Countess, I think the shield calculation is just under a million HP worth of shield every 8 seconds. I reduced that by 0.5 because I've got, zoom down again, because I've got Vox. So if we see here, reduce this prep time for guaranteed officers by 0.5 seconds. So my shield's gonna go off before like whoever attacks me's say if it's a 1v1, their artillery skills are going to shoot into my shield rather than on my base HP. So it basically negates 1 unit's full of damage. At least artillery. Tanks, it might be considerably more, maybe like 2 or 3 units against my base. So like the shield is so important. So that's why I'm considering making a super heavy, just to put the shield on, keep it in my base rather than actually use it. It'll just buff up my base defense. Sorry about that. That was a blowing. Apologies. But yeah, it'll just buff up my base defense, getting the shield on, and I don't really have to use it to take it out. I could use it to tank a base with my artillery, for example. So, you know, but it's just there for thought, and then I could run around with a helicopter and main battle tank out in the open, put damage on them both, and it'll be nice. Also, super heavy. I'm gonna have the tank tech. So obviously tanks. While I've got the tech, tanks are good. Everything else is pretty bad because they're not going to be as like upgraded as my tanks. So obviously I have 1 artillery, sole purpose to sit in my base, give my base some buffs and deal with infantry. That's all it's doing for now, until I really get maxed, like awakened. Not really a point hitting bases with 1 artillery until you have eye awakened, and then you get 40% more officer damage to bases, so you can actually chop one up pretty quick with just a singular artillery. And what I can do then is put, because I'll have Saber and eye together, I'll put Antonina's skill damage onto it, and then also Professor Payne to give them both 30% more, so bases will be flying down. That's all I'm saying. And then the final unit, I'm hoping to get 1 more Liberty Artillery, just because I can chop down bases faster, doubles up as base defense, and obviously it's a long way down the road. So at that point, I still have to get. I'm still 0 prototype pieces, for example. So I need to get 100 for this artillery, and then I'll be working on the next one, and then I'll have to get another. So it's a long way off. So I don't have to worry about refined components because I'm still working on my Leopard. And the reason why I don't buy the refined components in the store is because once I upgrade this, if I go into my supplies, I have no bullets. So if I spend all my gold on refined components, I still can't use them because I have no bullets. And then you could say, oh, but you could go into the campaign store and just buy them all here. The problem is that I need resources to upgrade these walls. And why do I need to upgrade these walls? Well, one, my base HP. That's the obvious answer. But two, is because of the city badges. Okay, so we go into wrong one. We go into supplies and we go into other. We see these city contribution badges. Okay, so I still need 650 to complete the first round of modern techs, and then it opens up to the next section before a really expensive one. Okay, so I need to stockpile these so I can actually do tech. Okay, every single one of my tech now costs these. Okay, so I somehow need to acquire them. So on a Tuesday, I will need to do 2 or 3 upgrades depending on the rushes. On the Friday, I will need to do 2 or 3 upgrades, and possibly on a Sunday, I'll need to do 2 or 3 upgrades. Okay, so that is a lot of resources that I need to use. To put into perspective, it's about 90 to 100 million of each resource per day. So I'm going to need 300 million either every week or every other week on Battle Honours. So yes, resources, very, very important. I need them. I'll be buying them from the campaign store. And the way I see the game is that this is going to progress slow enough that when I do finally upgrade this by just getting them off Spycatcher and level 4 events, that when I finally do upgrade it, I'll have enough bullets to go further. Okay, so I'll upgrade it and then I'll be able to get everything to 48%. Beautiful. And then I need to get all the components again. When I have them, I'll be able to get them all to 98%, do 100%, and I'll be able to progress them to 48% again. So it's just in the works. Okay, I'm not spending money, so I don't want to be limiting myself of one resource or another. So yeah, I really need city badges. I need the resources from campaign store. Bullets, I'm not in dire need. I have a maxed unit. Okay, my helicopter is fully maxed out. It's got 2 nice officers on it. I've got Valkyrie and Professor Payne, which is absurd amounts of damage, and 1 unit is really all you need. To stay competitive, you need 1 maxed unit, and that's it. As long as it can go toe to toe with other stuff, it's all good. Just anything further than that is a bonus. That's the way I see it. So that's units wise. Yeah, my idea is just go tanks right now because I've got the tech for it. Have a simple counter to the infantry, and then progress into the final Liberty Arty. So then we're thinking, what about the Martyrs units? Martyrs units, I'm actually all going Air Force on them. So with this one, I need a couple more Air Force components to get to 9.1. So that's nice. But Martyrs is going to be my Air Force, basically camp. The only problem is the camp buff. Okay, so I'll need six units for the camp buff. So my ideal setup obviously is a lot of Liberty units. How many do I have? So I'd have 1, 2, 3. I would only have 3, okay, and I need to somehow get 6 of the same camp to get the bonus, okay, so that's another reason why I'm not pushing for units, is because I want to keep this camp bonus on for as much as possible for my maxed units. So I was clicking the wrong button. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, did I get a plane? No, so when I summon another Liberty plane, it's going in here, and I get the 18% bonus on my helicopter. And I'll transfer into 18% on my artillery as well at some point. Yeah, so I'll probably be rocking a 5 bonus instead of a 6 because I'll need to add in the super heavy at some point, so I'll be sticking around a 5, but obviously that, I think it's a 15% increase with 5. So yeah, it's still free bonus, so I'll be doing that. So 1, 2, it'll be 1, 2, 3, and then these 2 slots, because my Air Force unit, again, like, I only buy 1 every single week, because as soon as I get this to 9.1, I'm not gonna like have enough bullets, or I'm not sure about maybe components, but I'm not gonna have enough resources to upgrade it to 9.2 like straight away. So I'm using the obviously I buy 1, but I'm using the slow income of refined to stockpile on resources to then get it immediately to the next level when I get there. Because that's a huge thing. I mean, I could get all the refined components, spend all my gold on it, and still not be able to use them. So it's just like, there's no point at the moment. Gold-wise, everything's going into VIP, simply because my thought process is everyone's got to get a maxed unit, okay? So a lot of people are 9.1, 9.2 now, okay? So they're approaching maxed unit. So everyone's going to get one. The difference is this VIP level then will be tech first, and then everyone's going to get the max tech at some point. Everyone's going to max out the modern tank tree or artillery tree or whatever, but not everyone's going to have the VIP level. So I'll put everything into VIP, and then suddenly, you know, I have 20% more firepower and HP than everyone else. So my unit's 20% better than everyone else. It's just because I put my gold in here and they didn't. You know, they bought their refined components that they can't use, but I bought power, I bought stats. So I think that is really important to put your gold into, rather than buying the refined components you can't use. Get yourself more stats, because then you're at an advantage, okay? So that is my rundown on what my plan is with this account, at least. So it's just get my tanks up slowly, working on the tech, need all the resources for the walls to get the city badges, continue with tech, and then try and get VIP 20. I know there's up to 25, but 21 should be the obvious. It's the same amount as this 4 million. Be about the same amount of time. And then onwards from there, probably never going to happen, but, you know, we can dream. So that's the plan. I'll see you guys in the next video.